Okay. Hey, I'm here now. Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Yoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. The time is now past 2 p.m. So sorry I'm late, but I already see like 16 people or 18 people watching. Yay! How are you guys? I don't like my tank top. It's like making me look like such a big guy. Hello, where are you guys from? How are you doing? What should I talk about? This is Q&A, so I basically answer your questions and so on. I have a fan here. Can I show you? Da, da, da. So sorry if it catches the wind or something. It's so hot here. I mean humid, I would say. So my husband, by the way, is out to get some grocery shopping done for us. So he might come back and walk past by or something. Hello, from California. Yay, from Canada. Oh, wow. Wisconsin, USA. Yay, konnichiwa. From New York. Did you guys see in front of Trump Tower, those BLM people, including the governor or mayor, they painted Black Lives Matter like in yellow paint, and it's right in front of Trump Tower. I'm like, what? It's so crazy. Like, the only thing the Japanese people here would draw on the road would be like crossroad. Is it crossroad? 横断歩道. To cross. Sometimes we need extra ones, but if you do that here, you get arrested, I believe. So, but yeah, that's crazy, man. The social justice warriors, or Sarah Carter called it social shaming warriors. So yeah, the public shaming, by the way, I made a video about it, and I was editing till midnight, and I was done at 4:30 a.m. today. But then I couldn't upload it. I think it has something to do with my browser. It's so old now, and I can't update it because I can't update my laptop itself. I mean, I could, but I did that on my iMac, and then that's kind of like right after that, my iMac died. So I don't want to risk it with this one. So my browser is too old, and maybe that's why I can't upload. So today, I'm thinking of going to buy a laptop. I don't want to because I'm kind of in a debt. Like, we're really broke. Like, we're activists, and we are barely making a big living. But you guys are there, and lately I get super chat and so on. So I think I can buy. I don't know, but yeah. Oh, making a noise. I'll keep it far. Maybe better. Konnichiwa. Yeah, BLM. Speaking of BLM, I wanted to talk about Hong Kong. Did you guys see my retweet of Michael Yan? He picked up this tweet from Joshua Wong, the pro-democracy activist in Hong Kong. He's like the face of Hong Kong protests. I guess from the Umbrella Revolution, which they call Umbrella Movement. Like, they don't want to call it a revolution because they're Chinese-minded, basically. But so back in the day, Joshua Wong was the face of Hong Kong, and today the media still interview him and so forth. But on June 2nd, he tweeted that he firmly stands with BLM, because he's a human rights activist. And Michael Yan, originally from the US, now based in Thailand. He's a great friend of mine, and he shares all this important information all the time. So if you haven't, you should follow him on Twitter and Facebook, Michael Yan. So he discovered this tweet out of nowhere, like, and he basically showed that Joshua Wong is now the enemy of the United States, because like that's what happens when you support such a movement, right? This is like these people, BLM people, wants to have a revolution in the US. They want to deny what US is today. So that's the enemy of the US basically, and he's supporting that from Hong Kong. And yeah, so and I totally agree with Michael Yon. I stand with Americans that are fighting against BLM. So like, Japan, from Japan's standpoint, we are a lot like we are our alliance nation of the US today, and of course we are strongly against socialism or communism. So yeah. Okay, let me see your comments. Japan is Western. Where did that come from? Oh, this one? Om7 at Random Yoko. Do you think your political thinking is more Japanese or more Western and American? It's Japanese. Believe it or not, what I say is like all Japanese. Like you might think like, oh, Yoko loves America, and maybe Yoko is just doing like what we call lip service. I don't know, is that English used in America? I don't know, like just to make you feel better. Like it's not like I'm saying all these political things to make you feel better. I mean, I do want to make you feel better and encourage you and so forth, but this is just Japanese conservative thinking that we are alliance and we stand together, and our enemies are the same. So this is what happens. I mean, it's complicated when it comes to Middle East and so on. But as for Asia, like it's the same. So and when I do disagree with the America, then I will say that from like Japanese perspective, is this and that, and so I can explain. I like the good example would be COVID-19 or Wuhan virus, because everybody here wears a mask, and Trump supporters in America, I see some of them are not like resisting to wearing a mask. And it's actually something that I talked about in the video I'm trying to upload, so you'll see it soon. Okay. After Hong Kong, China is coming after Taiwan, then Japan. America is the only thing that stands between China and the world. Yes, I agree. And the thing is, I'm not too sure about the order anymore. Like, in Asia, or those who are familiar with Asian issues, we have the common belief that China now took over Tibet, Turkestan, Southern Mongolia, and now Hong Kong. And so next is Taiwan, and then Japan. That's how we think. That's how we all think. But the thing is, now they took Hong Kong, basically, and they are at the same time, especially this year, China has been coming into the sea, our territorial waters around Senkaku Islands of Japan. Non-stop, they're coming into our territory all the time, like many days in a row. And right now it's 90 days in a row, and I believe 3 days in a row in the EEZ, economic zone, something economic zone. I don't know the term, but so it's about, oh good, we have a map here. So Japan is here, right? And Senkaku Islands is, where is it? Here. Can you guys see? Here. And China, sorry, it's a reflection is like making it weird, but this is what they claim is China. It's actually like China is actually like small, like here. But so they are coming here. Then this is Japan here, Senkaku Islands. But they've been coming here all the time now. And but you know how Japan is. That something is really like something really massive is wrong with Japan, and I really want to do something about it. But man, so like we can't fight by ourselves because our national diet is taken over by pro-China members, and therefore our alliance with the US is protecting us, really. Like that's why I'm desperate to talk to you guys and make sure that we are friends and all. Like it's like a mutual thing, you know, like for America or in the world in general, that we don't want China to take over the world hegemony. So we really like the world right now. Like we want America to be the leader of this world. I mean, as a patriotic Japanese, I wish that my country was strong and powerful in the world, but I'm a realist. So like my dream, like, you know, Japan leading the world and so on, that's the good image to have in my head. But I try to differentiate my vision or like the world that I want to live in. Like I already live in that because I have an image in my head. And so I differentiate that from the current international situation. And we are doing really good with America-led war. And I think that Japan adjusted ourselves to this Americanized world. So I don't know if it's a good thing or not. But like, you know, I am an activist here in Asia, and what happens is that we speak in English, and it's difficult for Japanese people because our country has never been colonized. We have been occupied but not colonized, so therefore we don't speak English, right? And all these oppressed areas back in the day have been colonized by the West, or they are now colonized by China. So therefore, as for surviving in the information war, they study English and they speak fluent English and so on. And what happens is that when you learn another language, especially English, what happens is you don't only learn English, you learn the culture attached to the language. So then it makes it easier to communicate and so on. So so really I get along really well with those who are fluent in English in the Asian community that are fighting against the Chinese communist regime. And now my husband is back from grocery shopping. So let's look at the super chat. Thank you, Weibo Rat. As Americans, how can we help Japan to get their military back? Is it up to Abe or Trump to make that decision? I feel the 1945 Constitution needs fixed. Yes, that's a good question. Actually, so Japan's constitution written by America, as Biden actually said in the last presidential election in 2016, it became the news here, but it was written by America, and it's basically binding our military power, right? So that's why, because of our constitution, we can't have military, and all we have is self-defense force, and we can't go into war. We can only defend ourselves. And for that, what we need to do is to revise the constitution. However, the National Diet members a lot of them are pro-China and so forth, and our society in general we're living in the consequences of the post-war system, post-war regime. So it's really like against Japan, like our own country. So anyways, that's the background. I hope I explained enough. So is it up to Abe or Trump to make the decision? The thing is that there are a lot of things that we can actually do without revising our constitution. My husband is trying to cross all over, so hold on a minute. Okay, successfully. He went into another room. So there are a lot of things that we can do even right now to stand up against China, such as we can boost our defense budget. And because it's not even 2% of our GDP right now, which is supposed to be the international standard, but our budget is so low. So, and if we do have budgets, then we can have lots of missiles like a shield and so on. And so, like, if we do everything that we can do right now, then it would mean almost like as equal to having our own military. So we are not even doing that. So I guess that thinking about having our military back is such a like another dimension of topic. So yeah, and at the same time, it's really, really tough to revise our constitution because people are brainwashed so much. Like, you think white guilt in the US is bad? Our war guilt in Japan is way more massive. And I don't know what to do. But I think what helps though is that if the world wants Japan to own our own military, then I do think it helps, because the Japanese people are unique in a way that we live in this tiny island, and what happens is that our recognition, as you know, is that we think of ourselves as Japanese, and all the people outside of our country are foreigners. And when you write foreigners in Japanese language, it literally says the people from other countries, like outer countries. And that's what we think. And what happens is that we are kind of feeling kind of isolated in a way, that we're alone in this ocean. And so other countries look so cool. I think this happens in every country, but so other countries, foreign countries look cool. So we always import ideas and inventions and so on. So what happens is, for example, our leftists are strong because they are importing all this leftist agenda from other countries. Sorry. I guess I got distracted by my own voice from my husband's phone right now. But yeah, they're importing ideas from overseas. So what we can do is we can import the ideas from overseas, but conservative side, or like our side, like Team Trump side. and it's actually President Trump has brought a great influence to the Japanese society. I feel that President Trump has been speaking up for his own country, like all leaders should. Like, for example, I'm impressed by President Trump calling out the leftists in America as radical leftists, and how Joe Biden is a puppet of radical left. And it's something like, when you hear it, it's like, yeah, of course, that's how it is. Like, you think like that, but it's such a special thing. The politicians can't say the truth, that what we take for granted is not granted. And so President Trump's like really blunt and straightforward, and also Twitter sharing information and so on, and those are being like, I would say, like encouraging us to be proud and confident and patriotic of our own country. So I really hope that all countries become like that. So let's see your comments. Did I miss anything? I have to make sure that I catch all the super chat and then your comments. Yoko, what Japanese female politician do you admire the most, past and present? Female politician. I can't even come up with one. But the only face that popped up in my head was Koike, the current governor of Tokyo. She's not a conservative or anything. She's a populist, I would say. So, and what's special about her is that she knows how to be political, or maybe that has a lot to do with her ego or something, or like business-minded side. But she's really strong politically. Like, she knows how to win the game. So I'm even though I probably do not get along with her political views, because I have a feeling that she's more like a kind of like a globalist. Could be, I don't know, I'm not sure. But what's good about her, Miss Koike, the Tokyo governor, is that she is very strong on national security and revising our constitution and so on. And the thing that what you need to know about Japan is that our leftists are all against the war or like military power or whatsoever. When you say leftists here, it basically means pro-China. That, for example, if you look at the US, even Nancy Pelosi is strongly against China, right? And it's rather Democrats that want to go into war. But in Japan, nobody wants to fight, and they just want to hand over our country to China. That's how it is right now. So it's really complicated, but that could be the way to divide the left in the world. That our leftists try to copy what liberals or radical left are doing in the US. But once that it's revealed that our leftists here in Japan are pro-China, like if we do a campaign of that, then the leftists here's the trust of our leftists here will shrink or decrease, right? So that's something that just came into my mind right now. Let's read your comments. China is so damn evil. Yeah, I like to use the wording from President Reagan, the evil empire. Yeah, we need to go political and use the term, like, use what people back in the day have used and use it wisely. So that's why I emphasize on the free world, the term free world, that I believe it comes from the Cold War era and so on. Oh, I got a super chat somewhere. Yay, LD. Hi, Yoko. Glad I was finally able to catch a live stream. Oh, wow. Thank you. I'm glad too. Yeah. Some of you go like downgrade, like you missed it. And yeah, that always happens. I'm sorry. If it's at night time, then I can confirm like schedule, but I'm not a early riser, and my physical condition, like I have a disease, ulcerative colitis. So like sometimes, like when I wake up, I need extra time. So I don't want to risk it and set a time. But this time range works, I feel. But everything will be solved though if I start waking up early. The thing is that I try to publish a video in the middle of the night, so I work so hard at midnight, and vicious circle. Anyway, let's read your comment. Hong Kong is in a big trouble. Free speech is no longer allowed in Hong Kong. Yeah, I know. How we view Hong Kong is that, I mean, before the national security law, Hong Kong was the what you call like forefront of this battle against CCP. So Tibet, East Turkestan, and Southern Mongolia were already colonized by China. And then here's Taiwan. Taiwan is basically independent nation, right? And then in the middle, there was Hong Kong. And Hong Kong was, we didn't know which way they were going to go. Maybe they could have stand in the middle and go into the side of Taiwan. Like what I mean by that is like independent and not colonized by China. There was a scenario of that, but now it's denied and it's part of China now. So now we need to shift our thinking that Hong Kong is now just like Tibet or East Turkestan or Southern Mongolia. So people are, I think some people still try to do like the protests and so on about like everybody needs to learn from what happened in Tibet, East Turkestan, and Southern Mongolia. Oh, Dallas Johnston, sorry. Thank you. I wouldn't count on the left divided on China in Canada, or our own prime minister said he admires Chinese basic dictatorship. He said that. I do remember the prime minister saying something like shady recently. Maybe that's the one you were talking about, Dallas. But yeah, what Canada is such a tricky country. We need to look into that more. I feel that there are lots of Chinese people and like immigrants in general in Canada, I believe. And even though like that means that, our side of people can escape to Canada, at the same time, it means that enemies from China can escape. Or what's scary about CCP is that they have this mobilization law. So all the people that are spread in other countries can turn themselves against you in your country. So they are very dangerous. And yeah, Torudo. I don't know how to pronounce Torudo in English. Torudo? I don't know. Yeah, Canada. I need to keep my eyes on Canada too. Someone is making fun of your prime minister. That's funny. Yeah, Canada used to be conservative until the younger cohort took over, like in South Korea. Oh, that's a easy way to picture. And isn't it interesting that, young people, for example, in Canada, the US, or South Korea, they are brainwashed by leftist ideology. But in Hong Kong, it's the young people that are more into independence. The younger the generation is in Hong Kong, the more they support the independence of Hong Kong. So like when the actual threat is right there in front of you, then people know, right? So, but the problem of that is that will be too late. So I really feel really bad for our friend. We no longer speak to him, but there's this leader from Hong Kong and like pro-independence activist named Andy Chan, and he always saw things ahead, and he was literally leading Hong Kong, but he was way too ahead that people didn't understand him, and it's here's the crazy part that I have heard that when especially it's a little bit back in the day, but like pro-independence people got attacked by pro-democracy people before like Hong Kong police or Hong Kong, like CCP started to attack on independence. Like pro-independence people are attacked by pro-democracy people. I don't know the reasons. There could be many different reasons, but there are struggles like that inside of Hong Kong. But what we can see though chronologically, like what all these things that have happened are showing is that more and more people want independence. They don't want their own motherland to be China. So that's something that we can read and something that we should support from overseas, I think. So, okay, let's read your comment. Let's scroll back a little bit. You ought to kick those left gaijin, insufferable nuts, or just localized globalists and are actually disrespectful of all nations. Yeah. Oh, that kind of reminds me of what I've been thinking about over the years, actually. So we have lots of like we do have the controversy of hate speech in Japan as well. And there are, even though the ratio is very small, there are lots of foreigners here in Japan. They're living here as somebody's spouse, or they are studying here, or they work here. And especially those like mixed people, like their parents, one of their like foreigner and Japanese mixed, kind of like mixed people, or those who grew up around the US base in Japan, or like whoever that I'm picturing those who were raised here in Japan as a foreigner or mixed people, and they often make videos about how they grew up and how much they hate Japan and so on, like growing up in Japan and so on, and how they say that how Japan is a racist nation and so on. But every time I hear that, your parents came here by their choice and we didn't force them to be here, right? Japan has been Japan from the ancient times, like at least 2700 years almost now, I believe. Or is it already to 27? So nearly 3,000 years. So it's the official record of us, of Japan. So Japan has been Japan, right? And then foreigners started to come by their choice, and they say that we recognize them as foreigners, like they get offended by the facts. And I'm like, don't complain to us, but complain to your own parents or your own ancestors, right? So that's really annoys me sometimes when I hear those people, like, we're not the problem. It's those who made that choice that has the problem. Yeah. Didn't China backstabbed Russia lately? Perfect time to ally with Russia, but then again, the US media will have a field day. I'll be too. As a Japanese, we are really, really, really like threatened by Russia. Like we feel warned. Like Japanese conservatives believe that the real winner of the World War II was Soviet Union. So, and right now, like when the World War II was ending, there might be Russian patriots. I don't want to cause problems, but let's just say that they stole our islands up north, northern islands, and they as a patriotic conservative in Japan, I really don't want to ally with Russia. Like, we don't trust Russia, right? But the thing is that Russia is really good at propaganda. So a lot of people are brainwashed. And of course, there are things that we can, of course, deal with them or something. But I wouldn't, I can't picture myself siding with them like I do with you guys in the US. You know what I mean? So, because I think that it's just different. There are like a land power and we are sea power. And I don't think it's all about politics, and it's just how people are. Like, humans are influenced and shaped by the environment. And what happens is that the US is surrounded by the sea. Japan is surrounded by the sea. We are the sea power. India is sea power as well. And or Britain, we're here. We're sea power, and that means that we have lots of resources and we don't have enemies around. Basically, you just have borders, but you know what I mean. So I've read that sea power nations have more freedom and democracy and less competition with the resources and so on. On the other hand, land power, they fight all the time. And when I see Russia, even though surrounded by the sea, in a way, it is the continent, right? Massive continent. So I just know that they are different type of people, and it's not an insult. It's just how it is. And same for Chinese people. Even though there are lots of Chinese people that I get along with. Actually, there are pro-democracy Chinese people living in Japan, and we team up in our activities and we do things together and so on. We are fighting against communist China together and so on. But at the same time, the land and so on influence people's thinking and how they perceive the world. So I will be careful, So, okay. Most communists are great at propaganda. Yeah, that's so true. I wonder why. I simply wonder why. Japanese people are so poor at propaganda. I mean, I'm not talking about just the lying and so on, the information war. Japanese people are so bad. I think it has a lot to do with the culture. In our culture, we must refrain ourselves. We have to stay low and read the room and always respect others or those who are older than us and so on. And it's kind of breaks the manner. It's kind of a taboo, I would say, to brag about yourselves. I mean, in the US, it's pretty much the same, but it's more intense here in Japan, I feel. So, even politically, there are things that should be said. For example, territorial disputes. Japanese government should always stand up against China and South Korea and all the countries that are, or Russia, that are claiming our territories to be theirs and so on. But we never do that. We should talk. We should have a dialogue. That's what they say all the time, many years. So yeah, and it's just people are just too naive and just good-hearted in Japan because we are Japanese and everybody is Japanese. We have a tendency to think that we can understand each other by through dialogue, and that's just so crazy. And the thing is that enemies get into that, take the advantage of our weakness. So any thoughts on Yukio Mishima? is he liked by nationalists in Japan today, or is he seen as bad?
三島由紀夫についてどう思うか。
My husband is there. My husband just said he loves Yukio Mishima. Huh?
2046年 LTN さんがスターリンとルーズベルトとチャーチルが責任を受けた。
Oh, NTN said Stalin, Roosevelt, Churchill sitting together, all buddy is a disturbing sight to see. I know that picture. Is that Yalta? Yalta, right? Yeah. ランド B さんは Wrong, we helped them fight Germany. どれいや、時間出ない、これ。Sorry, I'm talking to my husband. I am reading your comment. Sorry, give me some time. Oh. このルーズベルト。I hated Roosevelt. I hate Russia, but war is ugly. I know personally, being in a military family. Ooh. Thanks for your service. Yeah, Roosevelt. Do people, like, do conservatives in the US talk about Roosevelt, the bad Roosevelt in the war too? Because the conservatives here in Japan are more and more waking up to the history. Like, we are learning what really happened before the World War II, and like how Roosevelt was deceived by communists in China, and that they mistook Japan, or I don't know if it's intentional or not, but they took us Japan as the enemy instead of China and went into war against us. So, and it isn't it interesting though that sort of like all problems are coming from the Democratic Party. When I look back in history, like especially the World War II, it's Democrats that caused all this, horrible history that we had to fight. We didn't have to fight. America and Japan, we didn't have to fight. But Democrats, man, especially Roosevelt. And I wonder if people are talking about it, because what happens is that patriotic Americans can be reading the history that winners wrote. So basically thinking about Japan as the evil, like there are still people, like I guess that the majority of people in the US believe that the war started with Pearl Harbor and that it was a sneak attack and so on. And but there was an operation against Japan to attack us first and so on, like signed by Roosevelt, and there are lots of negotiations beforehand, and which was really one-sided and so on. And I wonder if people care about that. My friend Michael Yon recently was talking about the World War II, like how it broke out and so on. So again, follow him at on Twitter and Facebook. Oh, Roosevelt was a globalist. Yeah. I prefer Teddy Roosevelt, the good Roosevelt. Roosevelt. I don't know the pronunciation. Yeah, Teddy is not. I wonder if I have the book. We even have the book here in Japan. Like this conservative guy wrote a book about American presidents, like everyone, and like ranked each president, and it's so interesting. Like if you understand Japanese, maybe you should get it, because that will show the conservatives' perspective and so on. The biggest mistake during the World War II was making allies with China. Yeah. isn't it interesting that, like, Japan again is not good at information war, and even though there were things that we should have appealed to the world, we are poor at it. But now it just, things are revealing themselves. Like China is revealing in themselves by their actions, and now people just see that and understand. But at the same time, though, our enemies are strong as well. That they are trying to, flip America from the inside right now with BLM and Antifa and so on. Pearl Harbor is funny. Obviously, Japan wouldn't just attack America out of nowhere, but people act like it did. I know. It's crazy. Like my father told me about my grandma. Maybe I told you guys this before, but my father heard from my my grandma, who is already, she's not with us anymore, but my father asked her about what she thought about the World War II, because she was obviously alive at the time. And she said that she couldn't believe that Japan went into war against America, because America was so huge, compared to the size of Japan at the time. And many Americans don't think that way, that, American people often think like, oh, America was not that big and so on. It was. It was to us. So, Yoko, what is your husband's opinion on Junichiro Koizumi?
Husband.
I would demonstrate what he did. He did it. Junichiro Koizumi is our former prime minister from LDP, the same party as Prime Minister Abe, which is the current governing party. But my husband said Junichiro Koizumi is a populist and a globalist. Yeah, there are good things that he has done too, but he's basically that, Oh, and yeah, so our former Prime Minister Koizumi was great friends with Bush the Junior. Yeah. Oh man, I feel old. I was in the university, I think, during that time. Yeah, Bush. Koizumi? According to my husband, former Prime Minister Koizumi liked Elvis Presley. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Globalization is evil. Yeah. Especially if you team up with evil people or evil power, right? Like I really liked, when the last presidential election, of course, Japanese people were closely watching that, and we were really kind of excited or like stimulated, or like we liked it that Peter Navarro was pointing out the problem of China. I forget what it was called, but it was like a documentary, maybe.
Death of China.
Death of China. Yeah, that documentary was popular in Japan at the time, and we agree with like what had been talked about, and so yeah, it's like we really have the common understanding of China or the world in general. So again, like Japan and the US, we are really good allies.
フロリダ2時だよ、寝ないといけないっていう。
Hello, Yoko-san. I should be asleep. It's almost 2 a.m. here in Florida. Oh, thank you for staying up. It's maybe I should speak in a sleepy voice, huh?
始めるのが遅かったんで。
Yeah, I'm sorry that this started way later than expected, but I'm glad. I really appreciate it that you are there to watch this live stream. It's so cool that we get to spend our time together. I don't believe it's even possible to get rid of the globalists in the US. Yeah, it's like, how do you do that? Maybe make more money than them somehow? What do you think? I wonder how to do that really. Information war, just to, influence people's way of thinking, to open up their eyes. The problem of globalism, I think, is especially like, I wouldn't say like globalism, but the trade and business with China. The problem of that really is China is oppressing people's human rights, and at the same time, like they put everybody into like factories, or either they make them work or put them in jail, and or just be the shoot out of them and so on, right? And like we don't want to do business with such a country, and not only that, they basically they are destroying the environment, like of this earth. The large portion of our problem, like our environment, the problem of the environment is coming from China. They don't care. Whatever it takes, they get their business going, or they get their political power going. So they don't care about any sacrifices. They don't care about harming people or the environment. And the problem of globalists actually is that they ignore those things. My husband is actually a strategist, and when it comes to wars like this, and my husband points out that we should focus on human rights and environmental issues, because those are the things that CCP is destroying or oppressing, and nobody can refute that. Like they can't oppose to that, right? Because that's the fact. So do you think Koichi Toyama is funny? He's popular in the United States. No way. Is he? Do you guys know Koichi Toyama? Toyama Koichi. Toyama って富山。
あ、富山？
うん。
これやり。もう終わったよ。2つ前ぐらいの、8年前の東京都知事選だった。
Koichi Toyama, he ran for the gubernatorial election of Tokyo maybe like 8 years ago, and he pretty much ended whatever he was doing. I don't know, but he was funny. He's the guy that started the weird way of using the broadcasting of candidates for the election. That in Japan, I guess every country has a different system, but in Japan, when you run for candidacy, like for election, you get a chance to speak in front of the camera. Like you get equally broadcasted on air, and so you get assigned like a certain minutes, like a time slot, and you can make a speech, and you can pretty much do whatever the hell you want. And but we all make speeches. However, this guy Toyama did I don't remember what he did. 何をしたんだっけ? Like he was kind of a weirdo and did like really funny performance, and many people got encouraged by that, and they're now. Oh yeah, and he didn't really think about winning, I guess, and he just posted the video of his broadcast, like where he did the funny performance as a candidate. He uploaded that on YouTube, and that YouTube video got really viral, and he got famous and kind of influential and so on. And many people saw that, like what happened, like how to use the broadcasting opportunity. And now there are some weirdos. Even this time, like it just ended recently, but we just had the gubernatorial election of Tokyo, and there were a few candidates that do like crazy performances. One even in like diaper with a dirty spot on it. Like he takes off his clothes and so on. And but the funny thing is though that that's how he attracts. Like he was trying to attract people attention by that, and he does actually think deeply about politics, it seems. So weird thing about only in Japan, maybe. The rise of Mao and CCP has a lot of suspicious things going on. Yeah, I wonder why there are lots of people here that are like influenced by Chinese communists. Like it was really shocking when I saw like the red like I don't know what it's called, like I forget what it's called, a koehe. Forget, but a red thing here put on that, and that's like the military, and some people really are pro-China here, so I wonder why.
さっきね、トランプがもし選挙で負けたらね、アメリカの我々はね、シビル号に突入するしかないって書いてる人がいたんだよね。どう思う？書いてる人がいたんだよ。
Well, my husband saw an interesting comment. Somebody talked about civil war. Like if you, I don't think it's gonna happen, but if you lose the presidential election this time, then you must go into civil war or something. I missed the comment, but yeah, I think that's what it takes. Yeah.
それでみんなに聞きたいのね。あれだよ。前も言ってていい誰だ民主党のやつ、バイデンがなんかあんまり表に出てこなくて隠れてるっていうらしいけど、本当
My husband wants to ask you, is it true that Biden is hiding? Like he's not, like where is he? Just as we asked in the live stream we did with other YouTuber friends. If you missed my group live stream in English, watch that. He is hiding. Biden doesn't want to debate Trump. Yeah, that's what I think too. And so isn't it interesting? My husband doesn't speak English and he only sees the information in Japanese, and he knows that Biden is hiding. Like we can just tell, you know, because we are looking forward to the debates, right? But he's like, I was watching before I came on this live stream, like while getting ready, I had this interview of President Trump on Hannity's show. I was listening to that, and he aired that like comments by Biden that made mistakes. Like Biden always says weird things or mess things up in his head, right? And so like he's got some kind of cognitive issue, it seems. So like there was a series of like that sort of clips, and I could say, I could tell, like wow, like he can never go on debate.
バイデンをやっつけるってもう一回言うの聞いてみたい。
My husband even knows that Joe Biden must. What was the phrase? I don't remember the English phrase. Like,
I will be.
oh, beat. Yeah, my husband remembers better than me. But Joe Biden said that I will beat Joe Biden, and he wants to hear that again. Like, oh man. I can't believe what's happening with the Democratic Party, really. Like, of course, they are our enemy pretty much. So I don't have any sympathy for them, but yeah. Oh, Koehei is red guard. Yes, red guard. That's what I was talking about. So some Japanese gals here, in like communists here, were wearing the red guard, red ribbon. Yeah. Biden is hiding. That's so funny. Hibernating. Joe Biden is hibernating. Yeah. I think, isn't it interesting that the fact itself that he's hiding is strong enough to beat him in the election? The President Trump is there, always kicking ass. And he's like, President Trump is so powerful and really high energy. When I make videos, I kind of, make it fun and say like high energy, but he does have high energy. He's really powerful, and always like I could tell like his like front cortex or whatever it's called, like his brain is functioning very well. Like he's such a successful man, even at his like this age, right? And it's amazing. But Joe Biden is just an old guy, just like Hillary is a grandma, right? Like I was really like, I almost felt bad for Hillary the last time, that she was having issues with like her condition as well. Like being a politician is such a tough game. And it's really interesting though that President Trump, for him, it's his first time to become a politician, and he's rocking. And now it's been an hour, so I must go soon, and you guys should sleep soon. But Hillary is Satan. Yeah, I believe so. Clintons don't have good reputation in Japan either, so don't worry on that. Like, we know how crazy rich people in the US can be, and it's really amazing that there are good kind of rich people like President Trump as well. But yeah. Oh, Chip Cups, thank you. Will you play Glory to Hong Kong on the piano? I could learn. Yeah. Should I? Would that encourage people in Hong Kong? I should do that. Maybe you saw that I played the national anthem of the US, and maybe that's why he got inspired to write the comment. Oh, so yeah, if you haven't watched it, I played the national anthem of the US on the piano, which I rented actually. But you should watch it if you haven't. Yeah. Oh no, you just got here. Oh. I don't know what to say to that. But you got it at least. Some people don't get it. So, yeah. しょうがない。ありがとう。No, こちらこそ. Thank you. To be Japanese, all you have to do is bow. Yeah, glory to Hong Kong. Okay. Clintons are a negative image in Japan. Yes. Thank you, guys. I should. Hillary, that's nostalgic. I used to say that back in the day. Yeah. Sleepy Joe Biden. Okay, so I should go now. So thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry I couldn't read all your comments. I try to keep up with like everything that's written, but I'm speaking, and when I'm speaking, if I look at the comments, then I get distracted and lose the track of my thoughts. So I'm always looking away when I'm speaking. So sorry if I, it's not like I want to ignore, I don't want to. I want to read everything, but yeah. Yes, you must win. Yes, thank you guys. Have a good night. Okay, sleep well. Maybe I'll talk to you in a sleep. Do you guys have you ever listened to like meditation videos? It's so funny. Like, now relax, take a deep breath. I like to listen to that sort of stuff. Anyway, thank you guys again. I'm gonna go now this time. So thank you. お疲れ様でした。ありがとうございました。Thank you so much. And this is me bowing, not correctly, but whatever. Huh? Oh, Dallas, thank you at the end. Oh, patriotic gestalt too. Thank you. I hope Leslie Lewis wins in the Conservative nomination in Canada, then beats Trudeau because I think she and Abe could do a lot of good. Ooh, okay, let's look into Canada's election as well. And patriotic gestalt. Good night. Good night. Okay. Oh, I miss you guys. Okay, but talk to me on Twitter if you miss me. Okay, so have a good night or have a good day wherever you are. So thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.